Hello students, today we'll work on Module 6, Lesson 12. We will do the problem set video together, and then you will do the Lesson 12 homework assignment and have your parents check your answers. To get started, we will take a look at number 1. It says, complete the number sentence by expressing each part using hundredths. Model using the place value chart as shown in part A. Okay, so this is all it wants us to do. We're expressing each part using hundredths. You'll remember from past weeks that tenths can equal hundredths. It can be equivalent, okay? So we'll start here in part A, 1/10. You'll remember we can change that into hundredths. How do we turn the 10 into a 100? We take it times 10. Whatever I do to the bottom, have to do to the top. So 1 times 10 equals 10. So here we have 1/10, which equals 10 hundredths. And they did that here by taking 1/10 and turning it into 10 hundredths. Down below, I will be just writing it in parentheses, okay? But please know that there's also the way that you can draw it with 2 sets of 5, which equals 10, just like they have here, okay? So here we have 1/10 equals 10 hundredths. So 10 hundredths plus 5 hundredths equals 15 hundredths. I'm going to take this a step further because this will help me in the next part. I'm going to go ahead and write that as a decimal. 15 hundredths, the 5 is in the hundredths place, the 1 is in the tenths place. So here we have 1/10 and 5 hundredths. On down to part B. Same thing. We have 2/10, drawing that. We have 1/100th, okay? Now there, just like they did up here, they're asking us to unbundle. From our purposes today, I'm just going to write 10 and 10. 2/10, I can turn that into 20 hundredths. If you're not sure why, you can refer to back up here. Taking 2/10, timesing both the top and bottom by 10 equals 20 hundredths. 20 hundredths plus 1/100th will equal 21 hundredths. Again, I'm going to take that one step further and write it as a decimal. On to part C. I have 1/10, 12 hundredths, 1, 2, and then down here I'm going to write 10. I'm going to bring that over, unbundle it. It's becoming 10. So now I have a total of 22 hundredths. So I can look at that here. 1/10 will become 10 hundredths. And then plus 12 hundredths. 10 plus 12 equals 22. Taking that one step further to be 0.22. Get it, got it, good. Moving on to number 2. Solve by converting all add-ins, so all, to hundredths before solving. So much like we did up above, but now we're doing it without pictures, okay? So 1/10 is going to become how many hundredths? 10 hundredths. 3 hundredths stays the same. And then 10 hundredths plus 3 hundredths equals 13 hundredths. I'm going to take that one step further and turn it into a decimal. Next one, 5/10 becomes 50 hundredths. 12 hundredths stays the same. That becomes 62 hundredths, which equals 0.62. All right, for part C and D, please give it a try on your own. Come back in just a moment to check your answers. So hit pause on this video and hit play when you're ready. Moving on to number 3. All right, find the sum. Convert tenths to hundredths as needed. Write your answer as a decimal. So here, this as needed, this is an option. All right. So I will do that for letters A and B, and then I will not do it for letters C and D. Okay. So converting tenths to hundredths, that would be this 2 tenths, turning it into 20 hundredths plus 8 hundredths, adding those together, 28 hundredths. Taking that then, writing my final answer as a decimal. There it is. Letter B, 13 100ths plus 4 tenths. The 4 tenths I'm going to turn into 40 hundredths. Adding those together, then we have 53 hundredths. Writing my final answer as a decimal, 0.53. Okay, so now something for letters C and D to not convert. Okay, something you might be noticing a pattern that 6 tenths is going to come to the 6 or to the tenths place, 0.6. And then 39 hundredths is going to look like this. The 9 is in the hundredths place. Okay, I'm going to add those together. I'm kind of running into the next section, so now I'm going to write small. 9, because I could have this be a 0. 0 plus 9 is still 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. So there we have 0.99. Okay, it does just say write your answer as a decimal. It doesn't say anything about a fraction, so I'm just going to leave it as a decimal. Next one, 70 hundredths plus 3 tenths. So here I have 70 hundredths. I'm going to turn that into a decimal right away, 0.70. Turn 3 tenths into a decimal, 0.3. Add those on up. And here I have 1.00. All right, moving on to number 4. Solve, write your answer as a decimal. So same thing. How about you go ahead and give this a try on your own? The same as number 3, just if you need to change tenths to hundredths, you can do that. Otherwise, go ahead and give it a try with a strategy that makes sense to you. Hit pause on this video. Hit play again when you're ready to check your answers. $1.32 is the answer for letter A. $1.2 or 1.20 is the answer for letter B. Because there is more than 100 hundredths, okay, I could write it like this. That would be my son. And so 100 100ths becomes 1 point, and then 48 hundredths becomes the rest of that decimal. Okay, so that's where this is coming from when it's 1.2. It's because I have more than one whole. I have more than 100 hundredths. All right, last one. So I've got 70 over 100 plus 87. You can hear my kids playing in the background. Equals 157 over 100, which is going to equal 1.57. There it is. On to number 5. Beaker A has this much iodine. It's filled the rest of the way up with water. Beaker B has this much iodine. It's filled the rest of the way with water up to 1 liter. If both beakers are emptied into a large beaker, how much iodine does the larger beaker contain? Okay, here we go. So we have A and we have B. So 0.63 of that is filled with iodine. The rest is filled with water. Beaker B has 4 tenths. I'm just going ahead and changing this into decimals. Filled up the rest of the way with water. If both beakers are emptied into a large beaker, how much iodine does the large beaker contain? So really here, I'm looking for how much has nothing to do with water. So I'm actually going to cross out this information because I think it's just there to distract us. So 0.63 plus 0.4 equals 1.03 liters of iodine. Okay, that water information there was just a distraction. Did it work on you? All right, that's what we've got for lesson 12. If you have any questions, please send me a message either via Class Dojo, email, Google Classroom, etc. All right, until next time.